They are at the moment facing a real crisis. Meghan and Harry's crisis, completely of their own making, is they have no major projects, no major money earners. And so they're more desperate than ever.
The implosion of the Sussexes. Meghan Markle's Archewell charity scam and as ever lies have finally been exposed, an astonishing double blow for the fake Duchess.
She is hoping that she's going to become a billionaire off all of this, which again is total insanity. I think the woman's expectations are so unrealistic.
Well, absolutely, but don't even believe that there were 5 options. What you really saw were Harry's and Meghan's fantasy narrative, which they call the truth.
Stop everything, because what Tom Bower just exposed about Meghan Markle's 2026 financial disaster is not what her PR team wants you hearing. $23 million in unsold jam rotting in a warehouse, the Archewell Foundation flagged as delinquent in California, a Netflix show tanking at rank 1,217, and a woman who honestly thought she was on track to become a billionaire. Bower has been right on every prediction so far, and now, his take on how this all ends, you cannot ignore it. Stick with me, because the story doesn't just shock, it gets darker before a single hint of redemption shows up.
Their problem is that they've got no future. I mean, as ever, all her products, of course, is a complete disaster. She's got no Netflix series. She hasn't got any project at all. And they are literally wallowing in in a maze where to go. It's and so predictable.
There's been leaked financial details from the Archewell Foundation that's quite fascinating because it shows that there's 2 donors who've given one of them 15 million and one 3 million.
Here's where people get it twisted. Folks look at Harry and Meghan and shrug, thinking, they're still loaded, who cares? But Bower isn't just talking money. He's peeling back layers of a total collapse, one he forecast years ago that's now unfolding live, with no spin, polish, or PR magic able to hide it. He spent years digging into this couple, talking to over 80 sources, from former staff to royal insiders and Hollywood execs. The picture he paints? Ambition running full speed into cold, hard reality, like you've never seen before? This is a woman who walked away from one of the world's most powerful institutions, grabbed a $100 million Netflix deal, launched a lifestyle brand, built a charity, and declared she'd change everything by 2026.
It was a Channel 5 investigation as to the state of the Sussex's finances. Now, we know they didn't move to a 2-bedroom cottage somewhere in the middle of nowhere. They're living in quite a large mansion in Montecito. And one of the things that Prince Harry made very public when he left the royal family, one of the things that he was quite disgruntled about was the fact that his father basically cut him off financially. So really they were in a state where they had to make a lot of money and a lot of money fast. He blundered in a video and said, the Netflix deal was an idea that was pitched.
And now, Tom Bower is standing over the wreckage with receipts, and you need to see this. Let's start with the Archewell Foundation, because Bower says this is where the darkest truth about this couple really hides. When Harry and Meghan launched Archewell in 2020, it was sold as a humanitarian mission, named after their son, Archie, built to inspire compassion, service, and change. That was the story they wanted everyone to believe, but Bower's account flips that on its head.
Years ago, we were talking about Meghan Markle running for president. And what a decline, how irrelevant they've become today. Do the Sussexes still pose an institutional risk, or are they now culturally sidelined?
I mean, an institutional risk to the British monarchy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. A huge risk.
Really?
Absolutely, because there's no doubt as they become more desperate.
According to him and the foundation's own publicly filed 990 tax forms, here's the reality. In 2021, Archewell pulled in $13 million. Their peak year sounds huge, right? But cracks appeared fast. By 2024, donations had collapsed to $2.1 million, down from $5.3 million the year before, while expenses shot up to $5.1 million. Do the math. They spent more than double what came in. And here's the jaw-dropper Bower highlights. Out of that $5.1 million in expenses, only $1.25 million actually went to charitable work. The rest, nearly $4 million, disappeared into salaries, security, travel, and admin. That security bill alone? Around $2 million a year? Can you imagine that? Bower makes it crystal clear.
want to get into the details of this, Brittany, because the details here matter, given that everything Harry and Meghan do is topspin, trying to convince the world, and very often the mainstream media are sucked in, that everything's okay, but it's really not. And the first revelation in regards to Archewell is that the charity is down to just 2 staffers.
He likes to portray Meghan as Diana, but they've got absolutely nothing in common at all.
Archewell was never a classic charity. Mostly it served as a financial tool for the couple, helping manage taxes while raking in Netflix and publishing cash. Not illegal on its own. Plenty of rich people do it. But here's what makes Archewell completely different. Bauer uncovered something wild. By the end of 2024, Archewell had just 5 employees. Then during a so-called rebrand, 2 or 3 of them, 60% of the team, were suddenly shown the door. Some were even told the charity was closing, only for Meghan's team to quietly backtrack later. And the website? Poof. Vanished without a single explanation when it switched to Archewell Philanthropies. Bauer calls this classic maneuvering. When things go south, the story shifts.
I believe it is clear exposure of what Archewell really is. A PR project, nothing more. It's disgusting.
It really is, Dan. And one of the things is that Harry and Meghan have always said service is universal. They're going to be doing charity in the States and all these things. And it's just completely and utterly false. It was just a lie from the very face of it. And we've seen this endlessly. Meghan praises herself constantly for being this great humanitarian. But when you really think about it, what has she done? I mean, even before she married Harry, she was part of World Vision.
The website disappears. A spokesperson pops up, and the couple hopes no one notices. But guess what? People are noticing. California even issued a delinquency notice. Archewell failed to file paperwork properly and technically wasn't allowed to raise or spend money. For a charity claiming to be global and humanitarian, that's more than a bookkeeping slip. It's a massive red flag. Now, let's flip to As Ever, because if Archewell is a slow-motion collapse, As Ever is a full-blown spectacle. Bauer predicted years ago that Meghan's commercial instincts were all ego, zero business reality. The proof hit fast. When As Ever launched in April 2024, headlines screamed, "Meghan's jam sells out in hours. PR hype at its finest."
I'm hearing that they have huge financial problems. That they are eating into capital, and that they sort of to an extent been for much of their marriage into some capital, and also he doesn't have that amount of money. People seem to think that because he's the king's son, he's rolling in money. He never was. I mean, in terms of Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, he's poverty stricken, but they have financial problems. And a part of those financial problems are that Netflix is not funding the manufacture of the produce. The way Harry and Meghan presented the deal was that they would be partners with Netflix.
But the reality behind the headlines? Brutal. Someone actually checked the As Ever inventory, and what they found? Shocking. Meghan Markle is sitting on $23 million in unsold products. That's 137,455 fruit spread gift boxes just rotting in a warehouse. In the last 24 hours, only 26 sold. At that pace, it would take 9 years to clear the stock, and these are perishable goods with expiration dates. And there's more. She's also holding 44,000 orange marmalades, 62,000 candles, and 80,000 flower sprinkles gathering dust. Bauer's take is blunt. The original sellout was hype.
The hope was that Netflix would fund, and the fact is that Netflix's funding was very limited for the first line of what was never produced, and because they were not prepared to put up good money on something that was so highly speculative. And the proof of the pudding, Dan, is in the eating of the figures, because according to Meghan, the line was sold out within 45 minutes. That tells you that the produce was in the low thousands. Several years ago, Arnold Scarcy, the great American Canadian couturier, put me in touch with QVC to do a jewelry line. And I spoke to the head of QVC about.
She released only a few hundred units, just enough for headlines, then used fake metrics to justify massive orders, thinking curiosity equals loyalty. It doesn't. People tried it once, and that was it. One reviewer even said it tasted like Smucker's at $36 a jar. And Netflix backing for as ever? Minimal at best, according to Bauer. The empire Meghan dreamed up is collapsing under actual numbers, not PR spin, and Bauer has the receipts to prove it. Now, the Netflix angle, this is where it gets explosive. Everyone thought Meghan's $100 million Netflix deal was her golden ticket, billionaire status, a media empire, endless influence. But Bauer reveals the truth is messy, complicated, and far more scandalous than any PR headline.
I've never believed that my life is open season to be commercialized by these people. To act in the public interest is to interest the public. I fundamentally reject that. Having my life, like others, commercialized in this way since I was a teenager, delving into every aspect of my private life, listening to calls, blagging flights so they could see where I was going. It was a time when everyone was in competition with each other.
Netflix, a company driven by numbers, algorithms, and predictability, reportedly cut Meghan and Harry off completely. Not a renegotiation or pause on projects, they were kicked off the platform. All their shows shelved, 0 new projects greenlit. The streaming giant allegedly had 0 tolerance for mismanagement, inflated hype, and failed promises. What went wrong? Bauer points to one brutal fact: numbers don't lie. Their first projects flopped. Netflix runs on real-time engagement metrics, not press releases. And the numbers? Reportedly disastrous. Internal memos revealed executives frustrated. The projects are not resonating. The audience isn't coming back. The investment is not paying off. Brutal. That's Hollywood reality hitting like a ton of bricks. And here's the kicker: the PR machine tried to spin it anyway. Every flashy interview, every headline, pushed the story that Netflix and Meghan were still partners in innovation. But Bauer's sources spill the truth. Netflix stopped calling, production meetings vanished, and even marketing support disappeared. Shows hyped as revolutionary, quietly pulled from promotion. It's the kind of silence that screams, "We're done!" Meanwhile, contractual penalties were reportedly lurking in the shadows. Netflix, according to Bauer, demanded accountability for undelivered content and terrible engagement numbers. This isn't just ego.
Money is officially drying up for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. As more and more news of the dissolution of Archewell Foundation comes forward, it's very, very clear that this restructuring is due to a lack of one very, very key thing, which is money. In fact, Harry and Meghan sold themselves to a dinner table at $100,000 a pop to raise money for Archewell.
This is a $100 million deal collapsing in plain view. And Netflix isn't known for patience. The platform's standards are strict but fair, and Meghan's projects didn't come close to hitting them. Even worse, Bauer notes the ripple effect. With Netflix gone, other partnerships froze. Investors and collaborators reportedly hesitated to work with Meghan, worried the hype wouldn't match reality. And all the PR spin? It couldn't hide unsold inventory, stagnant foundation donations, or a public perception that the brand overpromised and underdelivered. Bauer's reporting makes one thing crystal clear. This isn't just a minor stumble, it's a full-scale financial and reputational meltdown. Netflix pulled the plug when the numbers spoke, leaving Meghan with an empire that looks great on paper but crumbling in reality. So if you thought the Netflix deal made Meghan untouchable, think again. Bauer has painted a portrait of a streaming giant cutting ties decisively.
Are they insane? What is happening? There is complete and utter chaos going on. The Meg and Harold are taking their rebrands far too literally at this point. Archewell, their charity effort, has not only changed its name from a foundation to philanthropies, which is even worse branding, I might add.
A brand losing credibility fast, and a woman who thought she could spin everything into gold. But the metrics say otherwise. This is a cautionary tale about power, ego, and the brutal truth of entertainment business numbers. Netflix wasn't willing to bet serious money on Meghan and Harry, and that's the harsh reality. The hype, the sellout illusion, It worked for press and headlines, but it completely flopped with repeat viewers. People clicked once, but nobody came back. Bauer calls this slow ghosting, and it's one of the sharpest ways to describe their collapse. The $100 million deal that was supposed to turn them into global content kings quietly became a cautionary tale. Netflix didn't renew Love, Meghan for a third season. And Bauer points out, they barely even made a second season. Just one season split into two, barely enough content to keep cameras rolling. The numbers tell the story loud and clear. Love, Meghan ranked 1,217 on Netflix. The holiday special, 1,500th. Think about that. A woman with the world's attention, a massive budget, and a $100 million platform, and she couldn't pull viewers? Bauer's take?
I mean, extraordinary that the non-disclosure agreements are so draconian, so watertight, that nobody dares sell their story. I mean, that is what's quite astonishingly clever of Meghan and her lawyers to protect their reputation and all the dreadful things that have happened in Montecito behind the high walls. But my book reveals a bit more about that, my future book. But that's a tease.
Meghan has nothing to say. No originality, no depth, no authenticity. Everything was calculated, rehearsed, and performative. A desperate attempt at the next Martha Stewart. Viewers got pretzels being moved from one bag to another, called cooking. Sources Bauer interviewed revealed Meghan's obsession with looking perfect on camera wrecked any warmth she tried to show. Real cooks tie their hair back and focus on the food. Meghan focused on looking like a magazine cover, and it showed. What we got was exactly what it was, a performance, not genuine content. Netflix executives realized within 6 months that Meghan couldn't deliver what viewers actually wanted. People tuned in hoping for a Diana documentary, a tell-all, something scandalous, and instead got flower arranging, jam, and Instagram-style lifestyle content. According to Bauer, the remaining first look deal is just Netflix quietly backing away without any formal announcement. In entertainment terms, it's the equivalent of not returning someone's calls. A slow, silent shutdown. Meanwhile, as this was unraveling in California, Harry was in a London courtroom, making things even messier. He was testifying in his lawsuit against the Daily Mail about alleged phone hacking from 2001 to 2013, long before Meghan was even in the picture. Yet, in the middle of his testimony, Harry started crying. "They've made my wife's life an absolute misery."
I do think the problem with Meghan is that she never actually says anything in interviews. It is so carefully controlled, so carefully chosen what she's going to say that she says really pretty well nothing. Now, is it because she's got nothing to say, or is it because she is fearful that if she did move off the benign script, she would actually get into real trouble? I think it's the latter. She is clever enough to know that to retain her mystery and status, she should reveal nothing about herself.
A case about events from over a decade ago suddenly became all about Meghan. Bauer's take? Harry is so wrapped up in Meghan's narrative that he can't even talk about his own life without centering her story. It got worse. The judge had to intervene 3 times, telling Harry to stop arguing and just answer questions. A high court judge had to repeatedly remind a grown prince to control himself. Meanwhile, Meghan wasn't even in the room. She was in California, posting on Instagram, while her husband cried on the stand about how the press supposedly hurt her. The contrast couldn't be starker. Netflix ghosting them quietly, their shows flopping, and the media empire they imagined collapsing right in front of everyone. Bauer shows this isn't random bad luck, it's a full-on unraveling that no PR spin can fix. Here's the hard truth. Netflix didn't just ghost Meghan and Harry, they pulled the plug on their empire. According to Bauer, the $100 million deal meant to make them global content royalty is now a cautionary tale for anyone chasing hype over substance. What was supposed to be a lineup of hit shows, documentaries, and lifestyle specials has turned into a masterclass in disappointment. A perfect storm of inflated expectations, failed execution, and corporate patience running out. Bauer says Netflix initially gave them a shot, but they were watching every metric and the numbers never lied.
Other expenses recorded at $2.9 million. Meanwhile, donations and grants to the group dipped from $5.3 million in 2023 to $2.1 million in 2024. Insiders skeptical of how Archewell, which doled out $1.25 million in grants in 2024, can continue. The source said if they're shooting out grants, then that's a net loss, and they're not bringing in that much money.
The audience wasn't engaging. Shows hyped as revolutionary barely registered. Love, Meghan, their flagship, tanked. And as ever, the massive lifestyle brand that was supposed to dominate shelves, $23 million in unsold products sitting in warehouses, perishable and forgotten. Netflix reportedly noticed this disconnect and started losing faith fast. Bauer calls it strategic ghosting. No fanfare, no public drama, just slow, deliberate silence. Projects weren't renewed, meetings canceled, budgets quietly slashed, marketing vanished. Netflix wasn't just cutting them off. They were pulling the carpet from under their feet without a single press release. Bauer's sources say this is classic corporate maneuvering. Let the numbers speak and let the illusion crumble quietly. And here's the real kicker. This collapse didn't happen overnight. Bauer points out Meghan's Netflix vision was all ego, zero reality. She wanted headlines, spectacle, and influence, but lacked originality, substance, and authenticity. Executives quickly realized the shows looked polished but were shallow, rehearsed performances with zero connection to viewers. People tuned in once out of curiosity. And that was it. Momentum? Gone in a flash. Meanwhile, the financial consequences started stacking up fast. Without Netflix backing, every other venture began to stumble.
I mean, an institutional risk to the British monarchy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. A huge risk.
Really?
Absolutely. Because there's no doubt as they become more desperate financially and reputationally and seeking a purpose, they will do some very foolish things. And whatever Andrew has done, they will double the problem because they will not be controllable from London. So I do think that after Andrew, Charles and William do have this problem with the Montecito royals.
As ever sales stagnated, Archewell donations tanked, and investors reportedly pulled back. Bauer stresses that Netflix's quiet ghosting sent ripples through every project Meghan and Harry tried to push. What was meant to be a media empire, collapsing like a house of cards. The irony is brutal. A couple claiming to build humanitarian missions and revolutionary media projects, yet Netflix, the company tracking real audiences, real engagement, and actual results, saw right through the illusion. Metrics don't lie, and these numbers couldn't be spun or polished. Meanwhile, Meghan and Harry projected confidence on social media, but behind closed doors, reality was bleak, unavoidable, and mounting. Netflix isn't just another platform, they're a mirror showing exactly what Meghan and Harry's empire really is. And the reflection? A brand propped up by PR hype, ego, and fake sellouts, not real engagement, long-term growth, or genuine success. According to Bauer, this is the ultimate wake-up call. Even the flashiest deals, the glitziest headlines, and the biggest names can't survive without actual results. The empire Meghan imagined is crumbling in plain sight, and Netflix is the silent executioner, letting the numbers speak louder than spin ever could. Bauer has been warning about this for years. Sure, Harry made choices of his own, but the image of him weeping in a London courtroom while Meghan curated her Instagram feed sums up the dynamic perfectly, and it's brutal for both of them. The optics are harsh, the reality harsher, and Bauer predicted this long before the world could see it unfold. If Harry loses his case, legal costs could soar into the tens of millions of pounds. One by one, Bauer's long-standing predictions are landing, and his latest assessment of how this all ends demands attention. The financial picture? Dire. Bauer estimates that sustaining their lifestyle requires $400 to $600 million, while Harry's actual net worth is around $35 to $40 million. Not broke yet, but burning through cash fast with no sustainable income. Netflix is slowly ghosting them, as Ever sits on $23 million of perishable stock, selling just 26 jars a day. Archewell has collapsed, and Spotify dropped them years ago. Harry reportedly even auctioned dinner table access for $100,000 a seat to raise funds for Archewell. Bauer says that move speaks volumes. If you have to sell the chance to sit next to yourself, your brand is toast. Bauer also thinks Harry's push for UK taxpayer-funded security isn't about safety, it's leverage, a move to stay relevant in the UK and open a door to King Charles. But the king reportedly hasn't budged. Even when Harry invoked "my father's grandchildren" in court, Charles refused to fund him, holding firm. The most dangerous period for the royal family, Bauer warns, is now. A desperate couple drawing income streams, every incentive to monetize whatever royal access they can still claim. Every speaking gig, interview, and future book trades on the institution they say they've left, yet they can't escape its shadow. Bauer said years ago something that resonates louder than ever in 2026. You cannot build a lasting brand on victimhood. Eventually, audiences stop caring, not angry, not bitter, but indifferent. And that is exactly where we are today. The anger has faded. The fascination has faded. What remains? A woman with 137,000 unsold jars of fruit spread, a man crying in a London courtroom about his wife in a case that didn't involve her, and a charity California officially declared delinquent. From financial records, courtroom transcripts, to warehouses full of $42 jam, Bauer was right from the start. This story is writing its own conclusion, and the fallout? Undeniable. If you watch this and have thoughts, drop them in the comments below. If this breakdown made you see things differently, hit subscribe and stay locked in for more deep dives like this. Don't forget to like the video and share it with someone who needs to see it.